Ladies and gentlemen, please pause for a moment amidst the busyness of life, amidst the never-ending stream of information and events. Take a deep breath and contemplate. Contemplate the life you are leading today at this very moment. Reflect deeply and sincerely on the achievements you have garnered, on the steps you have taken, the peaks you have touched, and the valleys you have faced. Every outcome you have encountered, every victory, no matter how small or grand, every setback, no matter how painful or bitter, is undeniably connected to one single thing: the quality of your mindset. Think of your mindset as an invisible force, an underground current beneath all external manifestations of life, yet immensely powerful. It is the silent compass guiding the trajectory of your entire existence. Visualize your mindset as a seed. A small seed full of potential, carefully planted into rich, fertile soil. The survival and growth of that seed, much like a burgeoning sprout, hinge upon many factors: warm sunlight, nourishment from the earth, and crucially, the attentive, consistent care from the hands of the sower. Your mindset, too, requires those specific conditions to thrive. It demands to be fed by positivity, by a spirit of unwavering resilience, and most importantly, by ongoing deliberate nurturing done consciously each day. Without these vital elements, your mindset, like a neglected seed on barren rock, will fail to grow, leaving your immense potential dormant and untapped. Fortunately, unlike the myriad of external circumstances largely beyond our direct influence, your mindset is entirely within your control. It is composed of the beliefs you hold, the attitudes you choose to carry with you daily, and your habitual thought patterns. Powerful tools you employ every day, sometimes consciously, sometimes completely unconsciously, to shape your life's trajectory. Your mindset is the critical determinant that clearly separates those who achieve lasting success and fulfillment from those who consistently struggle, remaining stuck in cycles of disappointment and missed opportunities. By purposefully, intentionally cultivating a growth-oriented mindset, a mindset ready to learn and evolve, you set a firm foundation for extraordinary achievements and profound personal satisfaction. A positive mindset doesn't merely transform your perception of challenges. It completely shifts the way you respond to adversity. Instead of viewing setbacks as debilitating obstacles, you learn to recognize them as valuable learning opportunities disguised. Every difficulty encountered becomes an occasion for growth, strengthening your resilience and enhancing your capacity to adapt and overcome any situation. Consider those individuals who have accomplished extraordinary feats despite facing significant, seemingly insurmountable adversity. The history of humankind, of every civilization, is replete with shining examples of great leaders, radical innovators, and visionary pioneers who expertly leveraged a robust, resilient mindset as a propelling force, pushing themselves forward even when faced with challenges that appeared impossible to overcome. Their success stories, the legacies they left behind, constantly remind us of the extraordinary power, the enormous potential inherent in a consciously and carefully cultivated mindset. However, the journey toward developing a consistently positive and empowering mindset is not something that occurs naturally. It demands sustained effort and clear intention. Daily practices such as mindfulness, gratitude, deep self-reflection, and positive affirmations play a crucial role in nurturing this mental landscape. Make a commitment to yourself to regularly evaluate and refine your thought patterns and attitudes. When negativity or doubt begins to creep in, consciously, very consciously, immediately replace these destructive thoughts with affirmations of your own strength, of limitless positivity, and of the boundless possibilities still awaiting exploration. Ultimately, your mindset defines not only your emotional well-being, but also your capacity to achieve personal and professional success. Every thought, every belief, every attitude you hold is an essential tool, a vital brick in determining the quality and direction of your life. Take charge of this powerful force by dedicating yourself to an ongoing, relentless process of mental and emotional growth. Ladies and gentlemen, remember this profound truth. By intentionally, consciously fostering a positive, resilient, and growth-oriented mindset, you are empowering yourself to achieve greatness. Embrace this mindset fully. Nurture it consistently and watch as your life transforms, blossoming into an extraordinary testament to your limitless potential. Andrew Carnegie's story is not simply one of financial triumph, a giant steel empire built from scratch. It is the triumph of sharp vision, of iron discipline, and above all of extraordinary mental mastery. When he arrived in America, he possessed none of the material riches that would later define his colossal legacy. But what he did possess, something far more powerful than any ore mine or factory, was an internal certainty, an unwavering belief that his life could be molded, could be shaped by the very force of his imagination and his relentless effort. Mr. Carnegie did not stumble upon success. He constructed it intentionally, forged it in the furnace of daily belief from the very beginning on American soil. Mr. Carnegie was meticulously deliberate about his mental habits. He trained himself to see possibilities hidden even when others saw only limitations and difficulties. When confronted with abject poverty, he did not focus on the lack in what he did not have. Instead, he directed his full attention toward opportunity. Even the smallest opportunities that could arise from those circumstances. When this door closed before him, he did not falter. He knocked on another door, or that very door again, but with greater, more determined resolve. This capacity to redefine, to reinterpret harsh circumstances was not accidental. It was the sweet fruit of a consciously developed mental framework, a psychological structure where grand purpose triumphed over self-pity and imagination overcame the inertia of reality. This fundamental principle remains as vibrant and vital for you today more than ever. If you aspire to rise above mediocrity, if you do not wish to live a bland, repetitive life, then you must train your mind to visualize, to vividly picture your life, not as it currently is in this moment, but as it can be in the future. The greatest tragedy of our time lies not in the lack of innate talent, but in the lack of vision. People settle for lives far below their true potential, simply because they have never dared to look beyond the present circumstances that confine them. Mr. Carnegie knew this better than anyone. He saw the mighty steel industry long before he actually owned any steel mills. He envisioned entire communities empowered by education long before any library bearing his name was built. These were not fleeting pipe dreams, baseless wishes. They were very precise, detailed mental blueprints, clear mental maps so vivid they guided his every choice, governed his every action, and sustained his fighting spirit even during the most difficult, the darkest times. Your own journey demands that same clarity, that same detail. You must become the active architect, designing your own future. And to do so first, you must become the skilled engineer of your own thoughts. Develop a vision for your life so clear, so detailed, that it elicits a powerful emotional resonance so clear that it becomes impossible to ignore. Let that vision pull you forward even when every circumstance around you is pushing you back. Paint your dreams on the canvas of your mind with bold, vibrant colors. See it, feel it with every sense, walk within the world of that vision even when it doesn't yet exist in reality. To do this effectively, you must engage in a process of daily mental conditioning done with discipline. Begin each new day by reconnecting, by immersing yourself in your vision. Close your eyes for a few minutes and vividly picture the life you are diligently building. See yourself walking with purpose and meaning. Speak your goals aloud, with absolute conviction, with a voice full of belief. Surround yourself with people, environments and ideas, books, sources of inspiration that reinforce the world you are aspiring to create, not the miserable world you are trying to escape. And when setbacks come, and believe me, they surely will come on the path to conquering any goal quickly, reframe them. Never ever interpret difficulty as final defeat. View it as an essential part of the process that forges your character, strengthens your inner metal, and sharpens your aims, your vision. This is precisely how Carnegie weathered the storms. This is how you, and only you, must learn to weather the storms in your own life. The power to create extraordinary outcomes is not reserved for a chosen few. It resides right within you. It is activated by those who dare to believe, who dare to place faith in their own potential with unwavering, unshakable conviction. Let your thoughts be fueled by a high purpose, your actions be driven by a clear vision, and your life be shaped by conscious intention. Andrew Carnegie mastered his mind, and in doing so, he mastered the world around him. That path, that door is still wide open for you. Walk it with courage and steadfastness. Resilience stands as one of the most powerful attributes, a robust pillar in the architecture of a successful mindset. It is not simply the capacity to withstand, to endure adversity without crumbling. It is a deep inner strength, something that allows you to recover swiftly, rebuild what has been broken, and rise stronger, better, and more experienced than before. Resilience is not innate. It is forged, smelted in the furnace of difficulty, and it is polished, sharpened by every storm of life that you, by your own, will endure with perseverance and clear purpose. Consider the extraordinary life of Thomas Edison, one of history's greatest inventors. World history primarily remembers him as the inventor of the electric light bulb. But very few people remember or truly understand the relentless trial and error, the continuous experimentation and failure that marked his path to success. Mr. Edison conducted not just dozens or hundreds, but over 1,000 experiments before finally discovering the suitable filament element that worked efficiently, where others would see only continuous failure, wasted time, and resources. He saw relentless progress. He famously and inspirationally declared that he had not failed. He had simply discovered 1,000 methods that didn't work. His words, full of philosophy and fortitude, reveal a mind that was deliberately trained to extract value from every outcome, regardless of how outwardly disappointing that result appeared. Edison's resilience was not a passive trait merely enduring. It was an active discipline. He made a conscious decision, an ironclad decision, that he would learn from difficulties instead of being defeated by them. That same active discipline is fully available to you right within you every time you face obstacles on your path. And trust me, there will be big obstacles. Your job is to choose how to perceive, how to interpret them, as stepping stones to move forward rather than stumbling blocks to make you fall. Each obstacle appearing on your journey carries within it a hidden lesson, a seed of profound wisdom which, if carefully nurtured, can yield tremendous personal growth. You must become a seeker of such valuable lessons. When adversity strikes, instead of collapsing or feeling sorry for yourself, ask yourself a question full of power. What can I learn from this experience? That one simple question alone transforms chaos into clarity, turns bitter frustration into heightened focus. It moves you from a state of complete helplessness to a state of self-control, mastering the circumstances. Most importantly, it rewires your brain, training it to see problems as possibilities, cleverly disguised. Resilience doesn't mean ignoring pain. It doesn't mean pretending everything is fine. It is the act of bravely facing discomfort, facing pain and transforming that pain into power to rise above. It is the act of enduring the darkness of the night while firmly holding absolute belief in the light of dawn waiting ahead. As you encounter challenges, be they in your personal life, professional domain, or emotional turbulence, resist the temptation to wallow in defeat, to want to give up. Instead, pause for a moment, reflect deeply, and extract meaning. Extract lessons from that experience. This process does not merely heal wounds. It builds. It shapes your inner character, the resilient person within you. Through resilience, you develop something that many people lack: unshakable confidence. Not confidence built on temporary successes or fleeting praise here today, gone tomorrow. It is confidence deeply anchored in the core knowledge that no matter what happens, you can and you will rise again. This very form of confidence becomes the solid foundation for an unstoppable drive, a powerful engine always pushing forward. You become the type of person who does not need perfect conditions to start or to keep moving forward. You create your own momentum, fueled by deep belief and fortified by sheer persistence. The path to success is never paved with ease. It is marked with setbacks, unexpected delays, and sudden detours. But those who walk this path with resilience find that every trial, every difficulty contains a priceless treasure within it. They understand that character is not tested by how we act when things are easy, but by how we respond when things become difficult, when it feels like the whole world is against you. Resilience is the echo, the reverberation of inner strength. It is the silent voice within that says, "I will not quit." Just as Mr. Edison's light bulb illuminated the world, so too will your resilience light the path to your own success. Harness it, honor it, strengthen it daily, because in resilience you do not merely survive, you prevail, you triumph. The pursuit of greatness does not begin with a vague intention, a fleeting desire lacking clear form. It begins with clarity, with detail down to the minutiae. You cannot hit a target you cannot see. Many hold dreams of success, of wealth, of influencing others, or making a significant impact on the world, yet they fail to turn their aspirations into reality simply because they have never taken enough time to define their ultimate destination accurately, specifically. Dreams, while greatly inspiring, are not enough. They require specific structure, clear detail, and consistent action to evolve from the invisible form of ideas into tangible achievements. Henry Ford, a man who revolutionized the transportation and industrial sector with giant assembly lines, deeply understood this fundamental principle. His famous quote, "Whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right," highlights a profound truth about human potential. Belief is very powerful indeed, but belief must be paired with clear direction. Mr. Ford's empire was not built on mere optimism alone. It was constructed with specific, clearly outlined goals and a relentless execution of those goals. The most successful individuals do not wander aimlessly through life simply hoping things will get better randomly, somehow. They plan meticulously. They prepare diligently for all possibilities, and they pursue what they want with a crystal clear purpose. You must do the same. Start by asking yourself a fundamental yet powerful question. What does true success look like for me? Define it in great detail. Define. Is it a specific career position, a clear financial milestone, a deep personal transformation of some kind? Whatever success means to you, it must be written down. It must be measurable, and it must have a specific deadline for completion. A goal without a timeline is merely a wish, and wishes, as you know, rarely ever leave the ground to fly high. Once your objectives are defined and clearly outlined, treat them as a binding contract, a solemn commitment with the future version of yourself. Let your goals govern your schedule, dictate every choice you make daily. Clarity in your goals leads directly to clarity in your actions. Each day that passes becomes a meaningful step forward toward the larger goal, rather than just random wandering among a pile of tasks and distractions. Conversely, ambiguity is fertile ground for procrastination to sprout. When your goals are not clearly defined or are too general, you easily become a victim of inaction, of hesitation. The mind, when faced with uncertainty, tends to delay. It waits for the perfect moment for a flawless plan or for a powerful surge of motivation. Things that often never arrive when needed. Specificity completely eliminates this paralysis. It gives your mind a clear directive. It tells your hands what needs to be built, tells your feet where to walk, and tells your heart what it needs to believe in. Consider the construction of a magnificent bridge. Engineers begin their work with extremely detailed and precise blueprints, not just a few rough ideas. Every measurement, every complex calculation, every necessary type of material is planned meticulously and with great care. Why should the work of constructing your own life be approached with any less precision? If your goal is financial independence, define specifically what that means. A specific income level, a required savings amount, or a business venture that needs to be launched. If your aim is to become a published author, set clear deadlines for outlining content writing drafts and submitting manuscripts to publishers. Let every single one of your goals be designed and built with the utmost care and attention to detail. This type of intentional active thinking doesn't just significantly increase your likelihood of success, it changes your very nature. It changes your identity. You are no longer just someone who talks about dreams. You become someone who actually builds those dreams into reality. The act of setting clear, actionable goals trains your mind to think like a creator, a doer, and a finisher. You align your thinking, your behavior, and your environment around you to support your vision. Ultimately, clarity is not merely a clever strategy. It is a standard of living, a standard that demands seriousness, commitment, and courage. Uphold this standard for yourself, and you will see the fog that is obscuring your path gradually dissipate. The clearer your goals are, the straighter your path will be, and the straighter the path, the faster your arrival at your destination. True success is never a solitary endeavor. While individual talent and unwavering determination are undeniably important, they often remain limited unless combined, harmonized with the powerful synergy of collaboration. The greatest achievements in human history, the architectural wonders that changed the world, the scientific and social revolutions, all are the result of unified effort where ideas were widely shared. The skills of many people were intelligently combined, and the visions of individuals were woven into a single overarching purpose. You may possess enormous potential, but when that potential is combined with the right alliances, it is not just powerfully activated, but multiplied exponentially. Consider the process of forming the United States of America, a superpower built on the foundation of unity, forged from many differences. The Founding Fathers, despite their deep differences in background belief and personal temperament, chose collaboration, choosing agreement over isolation and conflict. They debated heatedly but respectfully. They together drafted the Constitution, and ultimately they united to form a new nation, an entirely new form of government. Their legacy lies not just in what they created, a nascent democracy, but in how they created it through respectful dialogue, through flexible strategic adjustment, and through sharing a common noble purpose. Their example is a timeless testament that when individuals combine their unique strengths, they can create something far grander, far more powerful than anyone could have accomplished alone. You too must seek out and build such strategic relationships in your life, in your career. Begin by evaluating who surrounds you. Are these people lifting you higher? Are they challenging you to grow? Do they share your standards of living and your same ambitions? Those closest to you shape your perspective, directly influence your decisions, and either accelerate or impede your progress. Mastermind alliances, a term representing intentional partnerships for the mutual growth of all members, are absolutely essential for your personal evolution and your professional development. When two or more minds meet in harmony, aligning on a shared objective, they create a powerful third mind, a collective intelligence capable of igniting innovation, solving complex, seemingly insurmountable problems, and generating powerful forward momentum. The key here is harmony. It's not enough to simply gather many people around you. You must connect with those whose values, goals, and integrity truly resonate, who align with yours. To achieve this, you must lead with authenticity, with your genuine self. Be someone whose value is evident from the start. Someone who listens deeply, contributes ideas sincerely, and supports those around them, consistently, even when unasked. When you project strength from your inner core, individuals with similar strength will naturally be drawn towards you. Once you have built these precious connections, protect them at all costs. Nurture your relationships with the same meticulous care you give your biggest goals. Sincerely celebrate the wins of others. Offer a helping hand when no one else is watching. Trust, once built and maintained, becomes the strong bridge leading to shared triumphs. These alliances will become your source of energy, your support system during difficult times. When your vision dims or your confidence starts to waver, a solid circle of like-minded individuals will be there to remind you who you are and why you began this journey. They will speak truth, not flattery. They will offer genuine encouragement, not enabling weakness. Their belief in your potential will reignite your own inner fire. In collaboration, you don't just gain creative ideas. You also gain accountability, mutual commitment. A shared mission requires continuous communication, coordinated effort in action, and the highest level of mutual respect. These conditions will temper your character and expand your leadership capabilities far beyond their previous limits. They force you to rise, to learn to compromise wisely, and to commit deeply to the common goal. Never underestimate the power that a single conversation, a seemingly small partnership, or a shared mission can lead to. The path to greatness often begins where your strength meets someone else's strength. Let that truth guide the relationships you build. Seek alliances not for comfort, but for the challenge you need to overcome. Not for temporary convenience, but for long-term growth. When human minds unite with a shared high purpose, mountains must move, and things that seemed impossible become possible. That is not poetic fiction. That is historical fact, proven over thousands of years. Build your alliances deliberately because in unity, your vision truly finds the wings it needs to fly high. Self-discipline is not merely a personality trait. It is a life structure, an invisible architect building the foundation for all success. It creates a strong framework within which achievement becomes not merely possible, but inevitable, almost a certainty. Without discipline, even the greatest potential remains potential unexplored. But with it, even the most difficult, rocky goals begin to bend bowing in the direction you desire. Discipline is the sturdy bridge connecting ambition and achievement, connecting thought and action, connecting good intentions and actual transformation. Contrary to popular belief, discipline is not about deprivation or rigid self-denial. It is about clear direction. It does not limit your freedom. On the contrary, it defines what true freedom is. A person without self-discipline drifts aimlessly, led by fleeting impulses and transient emotions. But a disciplined individual is someone who takes control of their time, takes control of their focus, and ultimately takes control of their future. This is not a rigid, dry life. This is strategic mastery. The key to mastering self-discipline lies in making small, consistent, deliberate choices made daily that are perfectly aligned with a higher vision for your life. Each of those small choices becomes a powerful declaration about the person you are diligently striving to become in the future. Waking up a bit earlier each morning, committing to physical activity to maintain your health, taking time to deepen your knowledge base, managing your finances wisely instead of spending recklessly. These are not random actions. These are clear declarations of intention. They signal to your mind and they signal to the world around you that you are very serious about the path you have chosen. Napoleon Bonaparte's famous quote, "Victory belongs to the most persevering," was not an idle, trivial statement. He deeply understood that real power belongs not to naturally talented people alone. It belongs to those who are persistently taking action, those who show up consistently every day with a clear purpose and unwavering resolve. Success does not demand absolute perfection. It demands persistence. And persistence is something that cannot be achieved without discipline. Think of discipline like a valuable compass in a wild, uncharted forest with no paths. Life, with its unpredictable terrain and countless temptations and distractions, can easily lead us astray. But when discipline anchors your decisions, you will always know where true north lies, where the correct path is. You may stumble, you may be delayed by unforeseen events, but you will never lose your way, never lose your ultimate destination. Your inner standards, carefully cultivated through self-discipline, will always guide you back to the chosen path. To develop this powerful inner compass, begin by establishing non-negotiables. These are habits and principles of living that are not subject to your mood or the temporary circumstances outside. For some, it might be starting the day with a few minutes of silence and intentional reflection. For others, it's a commitment to daily physical activity or keeping a regular journal. Whatever your non-negotiables are, deeply embed, infuse them into your daily routine. Let them become as automatic as breathing air. Over time, these small, consistent actions accumulate enormous power. One disciplined action repeated daily becomes a solid pillar. 10 such actions build an unbreakable fortress. Eventually, you are not just doing discipline, you become disciplined. It becomes a core part of your identity of who you are, not just a few external habits anymore. There is something profoundly noble, full of dignity in practicing discipline. It fosters pride, it builds self-respect, and it teaches you that your word to yourself carries real weight, carries no less value than your word to others. When you follow through on your commitments, especially when it is difficult, when your body is tired and your mind wants to quit, you are proving to yourself that you are trustworthy. trustworthy, even in the most challenging moments. That inner trust is the deep root of the unshakable confidence I mentioned earlier. Yes, discipline requires effort, a lot of effort, especially in the initial stages when everything is new and habits haven't formed yet. But that effort will yield huge dividends. With each disciplined act, you rise above the noise of distraction. You rise above the temptation of ease and laziness. You choose to build when others are wandering aimlessly. You choose to grow when others are stagnant or regressing. Eventually, discipline will cease to be a struggle. It becomes a source of immense inner strength. It sharpens your edge, accelerates your progress, and protects your vision from decaying over time. When all else might waver, motivation, excitement, even external support, discipline remains there, steadfast and unmoving. Make it your sacred mission to cultivate this inner climate, to nurture this garden of your mind. Think of your mind as a real garden. What you plant, you will grow. Choose to plant the seeds of hope, the seeds of courage, and the seeds of unwavering belief. Water them daily with consistent action. Uproot the weeds of worry, fear, and doubt before they can take deep root. In doing so, you are not simply changing your mood, you are changing your entire trajectory, the direction of your life. Long-term success, truly lasting success, demands lifelong learning. The most dynamic minds in human history have all shared one single common trait, an insatiable hunger for knowledge. They understood that wisdom, true intelligence, is not a final destination. It is a discipline, an ongoing pursuit, something that sharpens thinking, strengthens action, and maintains relevance, remains current in a world that is always changing, never static. Benjamin Franklin embodied this principle with incredible discipline. Although he had limited formal education, having attended school for only a few years as a child, he became one of the most respected intellectuals of his era, deeply influential in many fields, from science, politics, to society. Why? Because he never stopped learning. Whether he was experimenting with electricity, negotiating complex diplomatic agreements, or drafting fundamental political philosophies for a new nation, Mr. Franklin dedicated himself to continuous, relentless growth. His daily routines included constant reading across a diverse range of topics, writing deep reflection on life, and interacting, debating with other curious and insightful minds. Through this, he transformed knowledge into real power to change his own life and the world around him. This approach remains just as alive and important today. We live in an era where information evolves at an unprecedented speed. New industries appear and disappear within a few short months or years, and the global landscape changes overnight due to unforeseen events. If you are not growing, you are not standing still, you are falling behind. Complacency. Resting on the laurels of the past is not a neutral state. It is alarming regression. The only way to maintain your edge, to hold your ground, is to constantly sharpen it with new knowledge and new skills. To cultivate this mindset of never-ending learning, treat your mind like a muscle. Stretch it with new ideas, challenge it with difficult problems, and feed it the best possible nutrition. Read books, watch videos, listen to podcasts that push the boundaries of your current understanding. Seek out conversations, meetings with people who are more experienced or who have a deeper insight than you do on life, on work. Attend workshops and seminars not just to get certificates or degrees, but for the transformation in thinking that they offer. Personal growth requires initiative. No one will force you to learn once you have left traditional schooling. But that is exactly where the real test begins, when the responsibility for your own advancement shifts entirely onto your own shoulders. Take this seriously as possible. Schedule time each week, perhaps even daily, to develop your professional skills. Explore completely new fields, or refine existing skills you are not yet proficient in. The most highly valued professionals, the most valuable individuals in any industry, are not the ones who know the most about that field. They are the ones who are always learning more each day with an incredible humility and openness. Mentorship plays a crucial role in this journey of continuous learning. A great mentor can condense time by transmitting the lessons learned through many years of real-world experience. They challenge your incorrect assumptions, bring clarity when you feel confused, and ignite your own capacity for deep insight. Don't wait for a perfect mentor to randomly appear. Actively seek them out. And once you find one, respect their time by diligently applying what they have taught you. Learning is not limited to just facts, numbers, or data. It includes emotional intelligence, the ability to understand and manage your own emotions and those of others. Communication skills, leadership ability, and the capacity for sharp, critical thinking. Success is rarely the result of technical professional skills alone. It often hinges on how well you understand people, how you manage stress, and how you adapt your behavior to different circumstances. Therefore, continuous learning must be a holistic process, a process of total human development. With every day that passes, ask yourself a simple question. What did I learn today? This question keeps you curious and constantly hungry for knowledge. It transforms ordinary daily experiences into profound lessons. It turns mistakes into new insights, into lessons not everyone gains. It builds a life that becomes richer, deeper over time, not dull or boring. Remember, knowledge is never static. The relevance, the usefulness of what you knew 5 years ago depends entirely on how well you have evolved since then. If you are not continuously upgrading your mind, you are using outdated tools to solve new problems, to face new challenges. By committing to continuous learning, you are stepping into the ranks of those who lead, rather than merely follow. You are future-proofing your success. You become more resilient, more resourceful, and more refined. In a world where change is the only constant, your ability to learn quickly becomes your greatest competitive advantage. Choose to grow and never stop learning. Adaptability is not a luxury available only to a few people. It is a necessity, a vital condition for survival in the modern world. In a world where technology can be revolutionized overnight, industries are reshaped in a few short months, and global events completely change economic landscapes in just a few days. Your success no longer depends on how much you know, but on how quickly you can adjust, how quickly you can adapt. The ability to adapt is what clearly distinguishes those who thrive and those who merely survive, scraping by precariously. Charles Darwin's famous observation about survival in nature did not place strength or intelligence at the top of the list of determining factors. It highlighted responsiveness, quick adaptation to environmental change. This profound understanding goes beyond biology. It speaks directly to your professional life, your personal development, and your ability to lead in any domain. To remain effective in any area, you must be willing to let go of rigid thinking, old beliefs that are no longer relevant, and embrace the fluid, ever-changing nature of progress and development. Far too often, people fear change simply because it disrupts the familiar, making them lose their sense of security within their comfort zone. They resist it, hoping that the old ways, the old things will somehow return. But success is not found in clinging to what once worked in the past at a different time. It lies in the courage to step into the unknown, to venture into the uncertainty of the future, and build entirely new strategies suited for the new realities. Change is not your enemy. It is an invitation for you to evolve, to become better, more suitable. To cultivate adaptability, begin by changing your perspective, by shifting your lens. Instead of asking yourself in a blaming tone, "Why is this happening to me?" Start asking with a curious and positive attitude, "What can I learn from this experience of change?" This simple shift alone transforms panic, surprise, and fear into endless possibilities, new opportunities. It redirects your energy from resistance and opposition toward ingenuity, creativity, and finding solutions. Then every challenge encountered becomes a proving ground, an excellent space for you to hone your flexibility and sharpen your problem-solving abilities. Being adaptable doesn't mean you have to abandon your core principles, your core values in life. It means you learn to reimagine your methods for achieving those goals. Your ultimate vision can remain firmly held, even when the path, the route to get there, must constantly change and be adjusted. The greatest leaders, entrepreneurs, and innovators maintain their ultimate destination, but they are willing to redraw the map to get there, adjusting their steps without compromising their core values. One effective way to build adaptability is to seek variety. Expose yourself to new ideas, different cultures, and entirely new experiences. Read books, listen to podcasts outside your usual interests. Engage in discussions, conversations with people who hold completely opposite views to your current worldview. Every such encounter with the new enhances your mental elasticity and boosts your ability to pivot with confidence. Furthermore, adaptability thrives best in environments that support experimentation. Allow yourself to try new things, accept failure, and revise plans without judging yourself harshly. Perfection is not the ultimate goal. Progress is what matters most. The more willing you are to iterate to repeat the try-fail-revise process, the more nimble and flexible your thinking becomes. Flexibility is like a muscle. It grows stronger with use. Emotional agility. The ability to manage your emotions skillfully also plays an equally important role. As circumstances change unexpectedly, you must learn to process discomfort, the internal instability, without allowing yourself to become paralyzed, unable to act because of those negative emotions. Anxiety, frustration, and confusion are natural responses when facing sudden change, but they are not final verdicts. Practice techniques that help you ground yourself in reality, helping you maintain composure. Reflect carefully before reacting impulsively. Allow yourself to feel uncertain while still taking action, still moving forward. In times of disruption, those with good adaptability become beacons of stability for those around them. They are not swept away by the swirling current of change. They control and utilize it. Their composure inspires trust, and their adaptive minds fuel creative innovation. While others are still frozen in fear, those who adapt bravely step forward. Ultimately, adaptability is not just about adjusting to survive. It is about positioning yourself strategically to lead, to guide. In every season of life, change is inevitable. Growth, however, is an option, a choice. Choose to grow. Choose to adapt. Let every unexpected turn on your journey strengthen your resolve, expand your creativity, and deepen your resilience. Because in the ever-evolving story of success, it is the adaptable ones who will write the next chapters. A life of true success is not built solely upon dazzling accomplishments, prestigious awards, or material affluence. It is built on the foundation of purpose. Purpose breathes meaning into your pursuits. It anchors your ambitions and core values, and it ensures that your journey is not merely an upward climb accumulating things, but also a movement inward into your own being. Without purpose, even standing on the highest peaks of fame and achievement can feel hollow, meaningless. With purpose, every step, no matter how small, carries deep meaning, contributing to a larger picture. Purpose begins with deep introspection, with questions asked from the heart and mind. Ask yourself, what do I live for? What matters most to me? What kind of legacy do I want to leave behind when I am no longer here? These questions are not abstract or merely theoretical. They are fundamental core questions. They shape your vision, influence every major and minor decision, and give direction and meaning to your everyday. When your goals are perfectly aligned with the deepest convictions within you, you will tap into a source of powerful energy, one that outlasts temporary motivation and outperforms even pure willpower. Reflect on the legacies of those who changed the world, not through force or power, but through their intense sense of purpose. Outstanding leaders like Florence Nightingale, who revolutionized healthcare, not for recognition or fame, but driven by a deep sense of responsibility, a burning purpose to serve humanity within her. Pioneering innovators like George Washington Carver, whose scientific breakthroughs uplifted the lives of millions of farmers and underprivileged communities across generations. Their achievements were not accidental twists of fate. They were the expansion, the actualization of their inner mission. In your own life, this principle holds its profound value. Every action you take should be the truest expression of the values you believe in. When you make decisions from a place of integrity and honesty with yourself, the results you achieve carry a deeper, much more enduring resonance. They echo beyond your personal success and become part of something much larger. Individuals guided by purpose do not chase after fulfillment, a fleeting and elusive feeling. They create fulfillment for themselves and for the world around them. To live such a life, you must regularly recalibrate your inner compass. Life will always tempt you with distractions, with short-term wins, promising ease, but coming at the cost of losing authenticity to yourself. Stay vigilant. Check in with yourself. Are your current efforts truly aligned with your core values? Are the victories you achieve deeply meaningful or merely outwardly impressive? Adjust, realign as needed fearlessly. True success never demands that you abandon who you truly are. It demands that you become more authentic, deeper with that person. Contribution to society, to those around you, lies at the heart, at the center of a purposeful life. The most enduring and far-reaching impact often comes not from how much personal gain you accumulate, but from how you enrich the lives of others. When your work uplifts others, when your presence inspires positive change, when your words offer genuine encouragement and hope, then you are building a legacy truly worth remembering. Success that simultaneously elevates the lives of others is success that lasts forever. This moment right here is the call for you to rise, for you to begin taking action. The world is not waiting for someone who is perfect. The world is waiting for someone with clear commitment. Decide today that you will cultivate your mindset consciously, sharpen your resilience after every stumble. Practice self-discipline daily as a habit. Maintain optimism despite difficulties. Adapt to all changes with grace and lead your life with a high purpose. These are not separate, isolated traits. They are threads woven tightly into a single fabric. The thread named greatness. Greatness does not arrive like a sudden bolt of lightning from the sky. It is built quietly, persistently, in the small daily choices you make in choosing to live a life of deep meaning. Every sunrise offers you the chance to start again with renewed energy and a refreshed mind. The only limits that are binding you, preventing you from soaring high, are precisely the limits you yourself accept, the limits you place upon yourself. Break free from them. Let today mark the turning point where intention meets powerful action. Begin with courage. Walk with unyielding consistency. Let every obstacle you face forge you stronger rather than define you as a failure. And always remember this: your journey is not just about success, it is about significance. You are the author of your life story. Write it with boldness, with courage, and with your warm heart, and write it in a way that leaves a mark not just on your own life, but on the lives of others whom you touch.